Are you or someone you know dealing with the effects of addiction in your life? Are you angry, tired, and hurt? On today's show, we hear from a mother whose worst nightmare came true as her smart, beautiful, full of life daughter struggled endlessly to beat her battle with addiction. Christy Smith lost her battle this summer, leaving a wake of pain and anger that her mother, Christy Smith, will live with for the rest of her life. The Jack Show sits down with Christy to help us all understand this epidemic that has taken over 1 million American lives in just the past year. The Jack Show is sponsored by Hollywood Studios Media Center. Hey guys, welcome to The Jack Show, a special in regards to addiction, recovery, and awareness. The show is really important to me and a lot of people at home. Whether you've experienced it or whether you know somebody who's experienced it, we're diving deep today because I think all your voices need to be heard, especially my guests. Please welcome Christy Smith. Christy, how are you?
I'm okay, hi.
Good, good. Thank you so much for taking the time to come to be on the show today. I heard about your story this summer. What I'd like to do is, the show's gonna be here to celebrate you, your daughter, and your grandson, and let you at home kind of come inside a little bit about what life was like before, during, and after one of the biggest tragedies of your life. Tell me about your daughter.
She was amazing. She was beautiful. She had the best spirit and the best soul, and she wanted everybody to laugh, and she was that girl who, if you were down, she always tried to bring you up with everything that she did, whether she tried to make you laugh or or she just sat next to you and held your hand. Like, she was that child. Her whole life, even after addiction. I have actually had people tell me that she was the most polite drug addict that they had ever met. And she, in her lowest period of her life, she would still give you the shoes off of her feet and her last quarter, just anything and everything. That was just her.
Well, on today's show, Christy, what I wanted you to do is I wanted you to be able to relate. There are so many people at home that are going through the same thing. They've got these beautiful children, okay? Addiction does not necessarily just mean substance abuse, alcohol, drugs. It can be addicted to a certain behavior.
I noticed a huge change in her when she hit junior high. At 13, her father, who had not been in the picture for many years, died of a drug overdose. And this is why he wasn't in the picture, because of his lifestyle. So we hadn't seen him for many years. And there was a shift that happened. And she just, it started little. It started with the acting out and let's go to a party with my friends and things like that. And it was small things and things that you don't necessarily notice for a little while because they are so small. And by the time those things started getting bigger and bigger, she was 17. She met a boyfriend. She graduated from high school. And as soon as she graduated from high school and she moved in with this man, his lifestyle and everything that he was about was drugs, criminal behavior, just anything and everything. And she hid it. She was very good at that. She was very good at hiding everything.
And Christy, all of them are.
They are.
You've got some addicts that the signs just come off like red flags, and then you've got functioning addicts where it could take years before you're ever aware of something like that that's happened. But what I want to do is I wanted to talk about another transition that happened. I think it was when Grandma died. And I want to talk about that when we come back on our next segment, because for you at home, watch the signs, know the signs, listen. These kids are having a hard time on their own.
Well, and one of the big things that as a parent, if I knew what to look for when it was happening, it could have been a completely different story. I mean, when she was 16, 17 years old and she was still in high school, I didn't know that my spoons were disappearing because she was a drug addict. I didn't know that that was something that I should look for. But all the time, my spoons were disappearing. And you just think, oh, what does she have? Dishes under her bed? Is she, she's just not bringing stuff upstairs to get washed. But it was specifically the spoons, and I didn't have a clue.
Those are the things that you yourself has knowledge of, and that all the people that are watching right now, you're gonna save a lot of lives. We're gonna continue this when we come back. We'll be right back after these messages, guys.
Can you see yourself modeling for a magazine or as a personality on Disney? If so, Hollywood Studios Chico is looking for you. We're scouting for talent ages 4 to 24. Call 809-0215 now.
Hi, I'm Jordan Schoon from Chico. I would like to thank Jack Stockton because with the help of Hollywood Studios, I was able to book a commercial with Nike.
My sons have been featured on the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, and I have Hollywood Studio Chico to thank.
Call Hollywood Studios Chico 809-0215. Online at hityourmark.com.
Hey, Jimmy, how's things rolling?
Yo, Chevy, you're looking pretty dirty. What gives?
Oh, my guy never washes me. Don't bug me about it, huh? Hello, boy.
Hey, Mercedes. Boy, you're looking great.
I just came from Scrub's hand wash and detail. Oh, it was so nice.
Hey, Chevy, here comes Cooper.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Cooper.
Ready to roll, Mercedes? What? You're going out with Cooper? Doesn't he look dreamy after his Scrub's hand wash?
Hey, Chevy, where you going?
I'm going to Scrubs.
Hey, where they at?
On the Skyway, across from Rayleigh's.
It's That Jack with Jack Stockton.
Lisa Vanderpump, and you're watching That's Jack. And this is Chico. What are you watching?
That's Jack. What's up, Mario Lopez, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm Naima, winner of America's Next Top Model, and there goes That Jack. Hi, it's Emmy Perry, and you're watching That Jack.
It's Dolores Catania from Real Housewives of New Jersey, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm fashion designer Richard Hallmark from Project Runway Season 11, and we are here tonight for the Vanderpump event, and that's Jack.
Hi, I'm Lance Bass.
And I'm Michael Turchin.
And you're watching That Jack.
I'm Eva Capra from America's Next Top Model, and there goes That Jack.
I'm Reggie Benjamin, this is Ivana Benjamin and Toby the Pomsky, and you're watching That Jack.
Teddy Mellencamp Aroyave, and I'm watching That Jack.
And I'm Edwin Ariave, and I'm watching That Jack.
Hey, I'm Jenna Willis, and I'm watching That Jack.
I'm Christy Kibble.
And I'm Autumn Taylor, and you're watching That Jack.
Hey everybody, this is Billy Gilman from The Voice, and you're watching That Jack.
I'm Melissa Gorga, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm Dominique Alexis, and you're watching That Jack.
My name is Patricia Darkea. I'm an inventor of Shady Face and Shady Paws Sunshades, and I'm with That Jack.
It's That Jack with Jack Stockton.
Guys, when we left off, I was talking to Christy in regards to signs that we all can kind of keep our eyes out. I know that you had spoons that were missing. Spoons are used in cooking or using some of these drugs.
So they can use the needles, like they use the spoons to heat up the drugs so that they can put it into the needle.
So let me ask you a question, okay? Because I really want to get factual and I want to make a difference. What is happening with our tolerance in this country in regards to use of drugs, and how do you feel about our tolerance?
I think it's disgusting. I think that as a society, as a whole, not just within your family and your community and your schools and people that you come in contact with on a day-to-day basis, but as a world in general, it is absolutely disgusting. And I'm guilty of it myself too, so I'm not, but my eyes are open to that now, whereas before it was hard to see all of that. And for a long time, I felt like I was sick of being judged. I was sick of someone hearing that my daughter was a drug addict and the things that she would do to get drugs and everything. And I've always been open about it, and because I do think that people need to have the information. But you get sick of people looking at you like you're horrible because your child has made bad choices.
That is a huge misconception, and I want everybody at home, if you know somebody, or you have a child, or your husband, your wife, your mom, or your dad, it has nothing to do with you. You are not responsible. You know, while I was raising my daughter, I always had periods of, I know she's going to experience, so I have to give her as much information to make that experience as short-lived. It's something that we can get through. We can get through this. But at that time, it really does give us a sense of belonging. When these friends want to be your best friend because you're getting high with them, and then all of a sudden you feel like loved and you feel it's all fake, it's not real, and it leaves them empty and it leaves them constantly chasing.
And it's all part of the addiction, because it's another addiction. You're addicted to these people's attention. And, you know, my daughter had told me on a few different occasions that it wasn't just the drugs. It was everything that came along with it. She was addicted to the lifestyle. She was addicted to putting the needle in her arm, which was one of the hardest things that I ever had to hear her say. Right. It wasn't just the high. It was every aspect of the lifestyle. She was addicted to all of it.
Which overwhelms our life.
Absolutely.
I mean, jobs, priorities, family, you take a back seat to that kind of a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
It keeps them occupied, unfortunately, and that's the problem. You know, I know that it was a period of time, maybe 3 or 4 years, that you didn't actually see her prior to getting the phone call from the hospital. What was that time like, not being so connected to your daughter for those years?
It was rough. As a parent, you always want to make sure and think that your kids are okay.
That's right.
That they don't hurt, and that, you know, they're safe. So as a parent, when you don't have that close connection, all you do is wonder.
Yeah.
And I used to describe it to people as every single day for more than 5 years, I mourned somebody that was still alive.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult, and that's exactly how it feels. And you know, you have good days and bad days, and there's some days that you can just put up your walls and you can try to not think about it and go about your life and, you know, do the things, but it consumes you.
You know, as hard as saying what you just said about mourning somebody that is still here, did it help you in the process, knowing that it wasn't just out of the blue, like you had accepted the behavior might do this, and then when it happened, it kind of gave you a buffer almost?
You know, I don't know. I ask myself that question daily, probably more times a day than I can count. Because sometimes I do wonder. Sometimes I think, wow, I'm doing pretty good today. I'm okay. I think about her and I don't break down. Or I look at my grandson and I see her in his face, and it doesn't hurt my heart as much as it did. But then there's other days that it's not even a day by day anymore. It's a second by second.
Yeah.
That I literally, I have to just breathe, and I'm like, okay, if I can just make it through the next half hour, and if I can make it through, you know, tonight. And
I want everybody at home to know that the feelings that you feel are exactly what Christy's describing. You're not alone. We're not going to ask you to be strong, because I don't think we are. I'm not going to tell you good job and a way to get through it, because we're not. It's just false. It's not helping the situation. What's helping the situation is the fact that prior to her losing her life, she had beautiful children, one in Idaho, and her son that now resides with Christy. Christy has assumed the mother role, and you've done it very, very well. You're looking after the one thing that was the most important thing to her, as she was the most important thing to you. For you at home, in Butte County alone, 75 people this year have lost their life to drug abuse. It is our tolerance that makes this unacceptable. It is your children, it is your wife, it is your family, it is your best friend that we are losing every day. You can sit home quiet or you can do something about it. Please follow us at thejackshow.com. We'd love to hear your comments. I want you to support Christy Smith. I want you to do everything you can to support the causes of facts. Our tolerance, and we're going to talk a little bit about California laws, the United States laws, and then I want to talk about somebody brilliant whose name is Kai. And he is how old?
He's almost 6.
Oh, wait till I introduce you to him. We'll be right back, guys.
Can you see yourself modeling for a magazine or as a personality on Disney? If so, Hollywood Studios Chico is looking for you. We're scouting for talent ages 4 to 24. Call 809-0215 now.
Hi, I'm Jordan Schoon from Chico. I would like to thank Jack Stockton because with the help of Hollywood Studios, I was able to book a commercial with Nike.
My sons have been featured on the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why, and I have Hollywood Studio Chico to thank.
Call Hollywood Studios Chico 809-0215. Online at hityourmark.com.
It's That Jack with Jack Stockton.
Lisa Vanderpump, and you're watching That's Jack. And this is Chico. What are you watching?
That Jack. What's up, Mario Lopez, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm Naima, winner of America's Next Top Model, and there goes That Jack. Hi, it's Emmy Perry, and you're watching That Jack.
It's Dolores Catania from Real Housewives of New Jersey, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm fashion designer Richard Hallmark from Project Runway Season 11, and we are here tonight for the Vanderpump event, and that's Jack.
Hi, I'm Lance Bass.
And I'm Michael Turchin.
And you're watching That Jack.
I'm Eva Capra from America's Next Top Model, and there goes That Jack.
I'm Reggie Benjamin. This is Ivana Benjamin and Toby the Pomsky, and you're watching That Jack.
Teddy Mellencamp Aroyave, and I'm watching That Jack.
And I'm Edwin Ariave, and I'm watching That Jack.
Hey, I'm Jenna Willis, and I'm watching That Jack.
I'm Christy Kibble.
And I'm Autumn Taylor, and you're watching That Jack.
Hey everybody, this is Billy Gilman from The Voice, and you're watching That Jack.
I'm Melissa Gorga, and you're watching That Jack.
Hi, I'm Dominique Alexis, and you're watching That Jack.
My name is Patricia Darkea. I'm an inventor of Shady Face at Shady Paws Sunshades, and I'm with That Jack.
It's That Jack with Jack Stockton.
All right, guys, welcome back. I wanted to take this last segment to appreciate you. And, I wanted to talk about that day. The day that you had to do one of the hardest things in your entire life, which was pull the plug of life support on your child. Talk to me about the phone call that you received and what had transpired a couple days after that.
So, August 8th, shortly after I woke up in the morning, I received, when I woke up, I already had a voicemail from the social worker at the hospital where she had been admitted. So I called them back and they explained to me what was happening. And I'll be honest with you, it's so much of a blur because as soon as you hear that something's wrong with your child, you stop hearing the things that are going on around you. And I knew it was bad. I didn't really quite have a very good understanding of it. I knew it was bad. And I knew that I needed to get prepared to go there.
So you get the call that Kira's been placed in induced coma?
She was in a medically induced coma because of the infection that was in her heart went to double lungs. Her difficulty breathing was so great that a stranger found her in their backyard in Spokane.
So did the infection was caused by needle use?
Yes. It started with endocarditis, which is an infection in the heart, which is introduced to the body from dirty needles. So a stranger found her in their backyard, called 911 because she was on the ground having trouble breathing, and she was taken to the hospital. By 6 a.m., she had been put into a medically induced coma so she could be intubated for her breathing. Her oxygen was so low, and admitted to the ICU. So I received the first phone call, the message about 7 a.m., And then through the next several hours, I had talked to social workers and doctors and trying to get updates while I'm also trying to pack a bag, get Kai to my parents, find a dog babysitter, just, you know, everything that you have to do, because you have life and you can't just drop everything and leave. And so, and then I made the 12-hour drive to Spokane from where I live in Oregon.
So you got there on the 9th?
I actually got there, technically, yes, the 9th, because it was about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was too late to go to the hospital because ICU and COVID restrictions, and actually the 9th, because
the morning of the 9th, you were able to go in and see her.
Right, yeah, it was 2 o'clock in the morning when I got there, so I had to wait till visiting hours.
What was the conversation like between you and her when you were sitting next to her that day?
It was, one of the hardest parts of all of it is they had already started her on dialysis because her kidneys were at 0. Her kidneys had no function on their own. And so they had already started the dialysis. And if you've ever seen a dialysis machine, it's just your blood constantly like going through a machine. Because she had other issues and she had this severe infection and MRSA throughout her body and hepatitis C, and I couldn't get within a foot of her bed or the machines. I had to stay back. So being told as a mother that your child is dying and they're not going to survive this, but you can't touch her, was one of the most difficult things that I've ever had to do in my life. And not only that I couldn't even go up and hold my daughter's hand, but I hadn't physically seen her in 5 years. That was the first time I saw her, was in a hospital bed with so many machines and unrecognizable at that point. You know, she had done so much damage to her body and herself. I almost didn't know who she was. And
was there a period of time where you felt like you connected with her and gave her permission?
Right before she passed. So the following day, the doctors decided that we couldn't do anything that day. It was too emotional. I was too exhausted. I had been driving all night. I had done all this stuff, and they didn't feel comfortable with me making the decision or even to have that talk with me yet, even though we knew that it was coming. So we scheduled a meeting for 11 o'clock the next morning, and we sat down in a room with all of the doctors and the nurses and everybody, and medical facts. I mean, that's and the fact that I know that my daughter had always expressed that she would never want to be that way. Never. So I went into her room, and I was there the whole time, and I watched them slowly take everything away, all of the machines, and basically everything that was keeping her alive at that point. Administering pain medication so she didn't suffer. And once they had all the machines removed and taken from the room, I could finally touch her. And even though it was the worst moment of my life, it was one of the best moments that I had had in a very long time. So,
do you think she heard you?
I think so. I don't think that there's any way to really know, but I have to believe that she did.
You've changed my life. Your story has changed my life. It is prevalent. It is happening everywhere. And because of you being here today, I think that somebody out there is going to put it down, make a change, stop, or understand more about what their child or what this person is going through. Christy, do me a favor and tell me one last thing that you want my audience to walk away from of this show.
I want people to start realizing that they need to start being honest about what's happening out there. Stop pushing things under the rug. Stop. Just stop.
Stop pointing fingers.
Just stop pointing fingers. Stop judging people. Stop pushing things under the rug. Face these problems head on so we can start making a huge difference. Because as long as we candy coat the situations and as long as we keep saying that, oh, not my child, or it's not a problem, it's going to continue to happen. And we need to start getting angry. We need to start getting pissed. We need to start getting upset. We need to start taking action.
We need to start going to our leaders. Start with your local congressman, your local representatives, start with your DEAs, support the police, support our law enforcement. Let's really put perspective on what's happening in this drug world.
And you know, not everybody has a huge voice. Not everybody has the capability to go out and talk to congressmen and politicians and all of this. But you can start small.
That's right.
You can start at the smallest place that you possibly can think of. And even if it's just a friend who needs somebody to talk to because they want to use that day. Or if it's just anything. Just do something.
Yes.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah, because it's going to help.
Just do something.
And it's going to help everybody's mental health. Mental health is the most important thing. Then we'll deal with addiction. Then we'll deal with the substance abuse. But mental health.
I can't change the world, and I know this. And I'm not ever even trying to. I know that I can't change the world. One person, if I can save one person, which I know that I've already done. I've had people reach out to me just for my story. I know I've done that, but I'm not going to quit. I'm going to continue to scream this from rooftops until I can't.
Thank you all at home for joining me and Christy as she shared such an intimate, traumatic experience in her life that she has turned into triumph. And Kai, I cannot wait to see him grow over the years. And all of you watching at home, I am going to list and put some things up on the screen right now for you to have some resources available locally and statewide. I'm also going to, on our site, thejackshow.com, you're also going to see links to how you can support our law enforcement, or maybe even hear about when votes are happening in regards to legislation and changed laws. Let's get these laws back to where we have involuntary holds for mental health. We'll deal with mental health, then we'll deal with addiction, we'll deal with substance abuse, and we'll do it in that order. Thank you all for watching. I'm Jack Stockton.